This week feels different. It's strange. It's a back to school week unlike any other. Yet it's still there, that newish feeling, with friends posting online photos of children smiling with their excited faces. The feeling is still there, with teachers energized and or terrified to teach again. The feeling is there as kids settle in to try to learn. But the feeling is different. For some, this new school year is not new enough. The Zoom routine might be different with different faces on the other end of the screen and different timing, but it's still Zoom. And instead of balancing work with childcare and vacation, now parents are balancing work with childcare and school. For some, today is too new. Sending our children to school behind masks where they might be sitting behind plastic dividers or separated and told to eat lunch alone. Everything that is new carries with it an element of uncertainty. And in this environment, uncertainty can be overwhelming. The last 6 months have taught us that nothing is truly unshakable. And when we embark on another year of learning, the anxiety that brings can also be crippling. All of these complex feelings about starting something new are part of what it means to be alive. They are all responses to a future that is more unclear and more uncertain than ever. But to me, the future is always a question. We all have a future, but we don't know what it is or how our story will end, which means by its very nature, the idea of the future always ends in a question mark. However, Rabbi Noah Farkas argues that while the future is never known, what we do know is that the future is created. Whether it's created by you or by someone else or by events that go beyond anyone's own power to shape it, the future is created. When it comes to our own lives, if we ask, what will tomorrow be like? The answer is always the same. Tomorrow, the future, is the experience born out of the choices made today. Your present self is part of the future because you create it. Professor Dan McAdams teaches that the will to create is founded on the faith that the future is indeed possible, even when we cannot see it. The back and forth between craft and vision pushes each of us forward in time to become better, stronger, and more blessed. He names this driving force redemption, not just in the sense of being taken out of a dark place or being freed from oppression, but being impelled into a brighter, albeit uncertain future. What McAdams learns through research, though, we already know through faith. The Torah opens with a book about the past and ends with a book about the future. The Torah starts with creation and ends with redemption. Genesis is all about beginnings, the beginning of the world, the beginning of time, the beginning of place, the beginning of people. God is the author of life, the artist, the creator. You are part of the created world, but what makes you special is that you are partner to God, being created in the divine image. That means as God's partner, you are both object and subject, created and creator, a work of art and an artist at work. This is how the Torah begins investing into the world the value of creation, not by focusing on the past, but on the future. The book of Deuteronomy dreams of a future for the next generation. That is especially true in this week's Torah portion, Ki Tavo. Moses has a dream for his people of a land settled, a people prosperous, and a nation thriving. He's speaking to a generation that has never known such things. They are the children of the desert, born into a wilderness of suffering, plague, and sin. And for these refugees, Moses dreams of a future for them and pushes them towards this future, which is uncertain, yet is commanded for them all the same. They must create this future, even if they've never experienced it in the most moral of ways. It is this prophetic vision where past and future meet, where we find the process of redemption. Creation and redemption are covenanted together. At the center of Moses' vision is the ritual of redemption. He envisions a prosperous farmer, basket of fruit in hand, coming to the holy temple to celebrate Shavuot, the Feast of Weeks. As he ascends the mountain and approaches the priest, he lifts the basket and recites these now famous lines. My father was a wandering Aramean who went down to Egypt few in number, but became a great nation. The Lord brought us forth out of Egypt with a mighty hand and an outstretched arm, and brought us to this land flowing with milk and honey. On Passover, Jews around the world read this story as the centerpiece of the Seder ritual. Redemption is the theme, not just in the sense of coming home, but in the striving itself to create a life of prosperity where none existed before. By telling a story of the past and placing in it the mouth of future generations, God creates the path of redemption, a path that now must be forged and created by each one of us. If faith means anything, it is this: to believe that the future, no matter how uncertain, informs the creativity of the present, and that if we step boldly, we too can participate in the act of redemption. There is no question that the future is created. The only question is, will you create your future, or will you wait for someone else to create your future? All creativity is born out of the past but relies on a vision of the future. The Torah's gift to the world is a vision of the future where redemption is possible. It gives you both the power to create and the power to redeem. The future is never known, but it is created. Your life is yours to craft. The strange newness of this moment places the question before us: how we answer will create the world in which we all live. Shabbat Shalom.